how to implement AI and save a lot of money, how to grow today because things are changing fast. We need to adapt, we need to find a way. How to keep getting results, how to thrive in this new environment because if you use old methods and do nothing, it's really tough to compete with someone who can use AI. I'm so excited to discuss a lot more with Jenna Nelson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Looking forward to learn more about that because I spend all my time, all my day with AI. I can speak with AI more often than with my wife because before I asked a lot of questions to my wife. She knew a lot, but today AI can know a lot more. So
Absolutely.
that is why
Absolutely. Yeah.
I spend all my time with AI just to talk, to ask anything. I love all updates, all models, and today it's really hard to ignore this technology and any workflow, but it's still a big problem. Many people don't know how to do it right. Many companies still use manual work when they can add AI, implement on their workflow. Jenna, can you tell how you can help with that?
Yeah. So I run an AI strategy and implementation agency. And specifically, what we do is kind of help small businesses really integrate AI in ways that actually are helpful and productive. I think, as you mentioned, you live in it all day long. I certainly do too. There's a new tool, there's a new model, there's a new process every day, several a day, really. And it's hard to keep up unless you're living in it all day, every day, like we are. And so, I kind of come in to filter out, what's noise and what's really productive and effective for businesses. And that starting point is a little different for everybody. But we have a specific framework in my agency I use called Align, Automate, Appear. And the goal of that is that I want you to move through those specific stages in that order, because that alignment phase is so important, both for your brand strategy as a whole, but also for the AI tools themselves. Where AI really becomes super powerful for a business is when it's trained and when it understands the business and it knows the clients, and it knows your target market. And if you don't understand your brand strategy and if you can't verbalize, exactly what you are, who you help, what you do, then the AI can't help you do it either. So we start with that alignment phase to really fill in those gaps so that I can go in then and train the AI to do what it needs to do. But as we move through those steps, we find places to implement AI that are going to be helpful for each individual business.
Yeah, nice. I think it's very important for any business to find out how to use it. And I see that many companies, CEOs and founders usually ask executives, please implement AI, please
Ah,
find the way how to use it. Go ahead. And I speak with many big customers who can cooperate with Fortune 500 companies,
sure.
and all of them have this goal. All of them have goals to implement AI and
Absolutely.
even lay off some people. It's reality. So, and according to data in 2025, big tech companies laid off 65,000 people. A lot of
Right.
people. And to be honest, I will admit we did it in our company as well because AI replaced them. Even before
Yeah.
ChatGPT, I used AI. I told anyone in my team, guys, please implement AI. Please find the way.
Yeah.
Think how to do it better. And when someone couldn't, it's reality. AI can replace them. So, Jenna, can you tell how to start, how to find the way where to go with AI?
Yeah. So, again, that entry point's a little different for everyone. But where I typically start is, what's one thing, what is one workflow or one process that is just bottlenecking your business? I typically do not recommend you try to implement AI in all places at once. That's too broad and there's too much of a risk of failure points there. But find that one thing that you're like, wow, this is like a manual task that is cumbersome, it's causing bottlenecks, we're getting behind, and let's start there. And to your point, there there's a lot of concern about, jobs being replaced by AI. And, my take on it is, instead of being replaced by AI, figure out how to use it in your role, in what you do, to amplify what you're already doing. And I think that's where a lot of employees are getting a little fearful of, if they don't know how to use it or don't know how to implement it for their own role, then they're worried they're going to get replaced by it. So that's kind of always my challenge to anybody on the employee side is, if you come forward with solutions in your role with AI involved, that is going to make you super valuable and not replaceable. So that's one thing that I always kind of try to throw out there, is it doesn't have to replace people, it just has to replace some processes. Let's make everything better with it. So that's where I look for. I look for that one thing that is just causing a bottleneck, and let's start there.
Yeah.
Once we start flowing and it's working, then we expand from there.
Jenna, it's my issue, because I mean, like, I see two sides of coins. The first side, when people overlearn about AI, just spend time to learn,
Yep.
read.
Yep.
The second side, when someone execute, implement, probably we need to find the balance between them. But my problem that I usually execute and I don't have time to learn. I mean, like, I just take tools. Sometimes I don't know how it works. I don't check out guys. I just execute. I fail. I fail a lot, but I keep searching for the way how to get results. Can you tell the best way how to do it? I mean, like, the balance between learning and implementation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's, kind of what, I'm here to help cut down on. I do see a lot of people that, kind of bounce back and forth between a bunch of different tools, and, they're always wanting to try the latest and greatest. And I get that. I want to do it too. But sometimes you do kind of have to put those horse blinders on and pick one and stick with it, because, it's evolving so quickly. If you're trying to bounce back and forth and you're trying to implement too many tools at once, you can really kind of execute it badly, essentially, or just, it becomes more of a playground than something where you're actually implementing a solution. So that's what I always kind of caution people on is, once you pick your lane and we figure it out and we're moving forward with it, try not to get distracted by, oh, but wait, this just came out. I get it. I want to do it too. It's like, oh, wait, but there's a new model. Let's check it out. But it's evolving too quickly to constantly be on the very forefront of it for every business. It's just not possible. So, I always kind of recommend to people, like, pick your tool, pick your platform. Maybe it's ChatGPT, maybe it's Claude, but pick one, learn the heck out of that one and implement that one, as opposed to trying to go back and forth. Because again, like, the trained AI is the most powerful thing you have. And if you're not constantly training it and reinforcing that training, you're going to lose some ground. So I see a lot of platform hopping, and it's you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot there a little bit, because you're not reiterating your business to the same platform over and over again. So that's a failure point that I want people to kind of be aware of, is sometimes you do just kind of have to pick one and run with it.
Yeah, I think, like, it's everywhere. You need to focus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough to become the best everywhere. I made this mistake a lot, because I love testing many things. But
yeah, same.
I usually do it because I don't know which model or tool can be helpful for me. So when I can find out, then I just put all my energy to this specific place. By now, I can't say that I have only one. I like Claude. Opus 4.6 is amazing. I love Gemini 3.0, ChatGPT 5.3, especially Codex. Wow, I love it. They're really great. But I test a lot, many other things. I test a lot, and my loving method to learn, I just ask on GPT. And I just ask, okay, let me know how.
Which one should I use? I know, it's funny how that works. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Jenna, can you tell about your customers? What kind of pain points they have? For example, probably some can have doubts about that, because I remember when I spoke with one accounting expert, and he told me that when he shared AI solutions to his company, they didn't accept and even say to him, "No, we are not going to use AI because it can steal our data, and everyone will know about this data." So he tried to explain that it's not stealing, because if you just use the right model, if you can explain and teach about that, you can have your data in the right place. But anyway, so can you tell about pain points?
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point there, installing those guardrails to protect your data is really important. And that's why I kind of recommend you work with an agency or somebody that is, really savvy in the AI world to make sure that you are, putting those guardrails in and protecting your privacy and protecting your data and not exposing yourself, to risk there. But I think there is, often a bigger fear than there needs to be, unless we're talking about super, super protected information like health information or something like that. It's not really going as far as you think it's going. But in terms of customer pain points, I would say, one of the biggest ones I hear is just lead intake and lead follow-up. There's a lot of like, I know, we're missing calls, we're not getting back to people. Somebody inquires and then they kind of fall off, and you've been using probably a CRM for years, and you should keep doing that. We want all of our leads stored somewhere. But on the front end, there's a great opportunity to put AI tools in place that can kind of filter your leads on the front end. And I think that does two really important things. One, it sets the brand standard for your customer. They know they're getting that immediate touch point. You can train that AI to explain, what next steps look like, how they might be followed up with. If they're not a good fit, I build a lot of AI tools that kind of gently find them a different pathway, or move them into maybe a different path within that business. Maybe there's like a DIY path versus a done for you path or something like that. So I think that the consumer appreciates on the front end that kind of clarity and not wasting their time getting on a 1-hour sales call if they're not the right fit, if this isn't going to be the solution they need or the right business for them. I personally would prefer that. I would love to know that from a conversation chatbot in 5 minutes than spending an hour with a salesperson and, wasting my time and their time. So I think it's a great consumer facing opportunity. And then on the back end, on the business side, it can do a lot of things. One, obviously, it's filtering your leads, and it's putting them in your CRM and maybe starting a workflow sequence or booking appointments. All of those are really important. But the other thing I think it's doing is it's pre-qualifying your leads for you as well. And if you're taking them through some steps, you're teaching them about your process, what those next steps look like, you've already got kind of a warmed up client by the time they might get to a human. And so that can really reduce, your bounce rates. That can really reduce the amount of time you spend, kind of trying to track people down, because they've already gone through your little process and they're like, oh yeah, this is the solution I want. Now let me go get it. So I think using it for lead intake, lead filtering, follow-ups and nurturing is one of the most important places that we can use AI right now.
Yeah. By the way, before this podcast, I shared with you our solution, customer support. It's a great chat. By the way, we build the solution because we usually do something in purpose. Because when I can't find existing products, I usually search for them. I never build anything if I can find great products. I just use real products. But when I can't, we started to search. Okay, if we can't satisfy customer intent, we need to build this. So we build this tool, and this tool can reply to any question in 95 languages in 2 seconds about anything about your business. And this tool replaced the entire customer support of this client. A lot of saving, a lot of money, a lot of resources.
Totally.
And Yeah, and I think for people who can lose jobs because of that, they need to start thinking about AI, because if AI replace them, they have problems, not AI. AI doesn't have any problem. I mean, like, it's the same like farmers when they got the first tractor, they thought, okay, we can't dig this land anymore. What to do?
Yeah.
So start to drive this tractor, you know. So I
Yeah.
think it's the same with AI. You need to become an AI operator to become great on that. So Jenna, can you tell what kind of tools do you build, or workflow, or anything like that for your customers?
Yeah. So, I mean, we really customize it to the business. So, there's certainly certain buckets that it falls into, those lead intake systems. I do a lot of voice AI builds for lead intake, for answering calls. I do a lot of conversation bots for, websites and stuff like that. But then we also do a lot of custom client tools as well. So, for instance, you may have a company and your employees are using AI, but they may not be using it right. And they may not be using it to the standard of your brand and your company. So, one thing I do is I build internal brand managers for a bunch of companies so that there is one concrete knowledge base, one source of information. And from there, employees can take that and use it to, maybe tweak and use AI tools specific for their role. But I want that one centralized source of AI brand guidelines and knowledge that they can all use in one place. So internal tools are almost just as important as external facing client tools as well. So build a lot of brand managers. We build a lot of like internal training tools, for however long, right? Like you might be an employee, you might have a question and you might go run to your manager and interrupt, your manager who's working on something else. Well, if I can build a tool that can answer that question for you, and you never have to go bother a human or distract them from what they're doing, then that's a huge time saving opportunity as well. So a lot of internal resources, super important. And then those external facing. I also do a lot of, I think, lead magnets have really changed. Nobody really wants like a static PDF anymore or a checklist. They want tools that help them. We've moved beyond that, right? Like we're looking for things to do things for us. So I build a lot of tools that can be used as lead magnets and put out there as, hey, here's a simple, maybe it's a checker to run a trademark search, or maybe it's something to see if you're a good fit for a certain program, or evaluate where you're at in your health and fitness journey to see if you're a candidate for personal training, something like that. So those lead magnet tools are really, we've moved beyond even like the static quizzes, right? Like check a box and get a score. We want it to be more conversational. We want it to be more interactive. So we build a lot of those really customized to businesses as well. And then obviously we do tons of like automations and workflows and, lead follow-up sequences and things like that. But I think, the truly customized tools, that's what's so great about where we are right now in 2026 is, we're kind of moving away from those big box software systems where it's like, like HubSpot, right? Like this is meant to fill every bucket, or Salesforce. This is meant to fill every bucket for every business. And there was a lot of frustration, like, well, I need it to do this and I need it to do that. And you couldn't always get to that easily because it was built for everyone. Well, now with, low code apps, with AI, we can build very business specific apps in hours or days for clients that aren't subscription based, or that aren't an offshoot of something that already exists. And I think that customization is really, really key, and it's going to help a lot of businesses really grow because they're not bottlenecked by a software that doesn't do all of the things they need it to do anymore.
Wow, nice. Wow, a lot of work, a lot of work. Luckily, with AI, we can do a lot of work as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Split
absolutely.
tools. No, I like to use anti-gravity or codex, and all these models are great. I mean, like
Absolutely.
you set up the right, so it works instead of you just watch, and otherwise.
Absolutely.
Jenna,
Yeah.
can you tell about learning workflow? For example, let's imagine you have a customer.
Mhm.
You mentioned many times about lead magnets. Let me share a short story. Basically, like a few months ago, I got 4 emails from Neil Patel. Basically, I think like that Neil Patel didn't write these messages because that was Neil Patel Digital, someone from his team wrote these messages. But anyway, what I analyzed on these emails, that was not call to outreach. That was not human written. That was I can call it like AI personalization because
Yeah.
on all these emails, um, someone who sent this emails from Neil Patel agency wrote that they listen to this podcast. They love this podcast. They know a lot of episodes. I know it's nonsense, but they propose good speakers who can speak on this podcast. For me, I can admit real great people who can bring value. Okay, I don't care, listen or not, just bring value to my audience. Anyway,
Yeah.
so and I got these emails and I didn't reply to them in the beginning because I was waiting for sequences. I just want to know what kind of follow-ups Neil Patel can use to convince recipients. But anyway, that was AI personalized messages.
Mhm.
I think then I started to test something similar. So we personalized 10,000 emails with Claude. So I use Claude API and personalized 10,000 messages for $20 or $30, anything like that. Not a lot. So because humans need to spend a lot of time to write all these messages, it's almost, I mean, like I don't know, months or years. But I can admit that AI can write good emails, but not enough. But if you speak about scale, of course, AI is better. So, Jenna, can you tell about these lead magnets? How you can personalize things with AI?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, and that's a great, point, right? Like we've moved beyond a personalization email just being like, hi, first name. We're way past that at this point. So the beauty of these lead magnets, right, is now I can take them through this kind of filtering system where I ask them, about their habits or their business or their, eating, whatever. And then take them through those steps, and I can write all of that information back to a CRM, and with that I can personalize email sequences that are hyper specific to that client's pain point. And we all know, right, like a big part of sales is hitting the right message at the right time. And so if I can find out exactly what it is that that customer is struggling with or most in need of, and then I can hit them with a nurture sequence that's like, hey, I saw you're struggling with blank. Here's a solution for that. Here's testimonials on that. And I can be hyper specific. That conversion rate is so much higher than generalized marketing, right? If we're just coming out there and saying, hi, I'm a marketing agency, well, that's great. And, sometimes people are looking for a marketing agency. But if I know somebody's looking for ad management, they need paid ads, they're throwing away money, then if I walk them through, okay, well, what's your click-through rate look like? What's your funnel look like? Okay, well, this might be the break point. Let's talk about it. Do you have a pixel installed? What's your budget like? I can walk them through all of those questions, and then I can generate a proposal in minutes. I can get them qualified really fast. And I think that kind of hyper personalization is what we're moving towards and what the general expectation is going to be for consumers moving forward. So that's a really powerful way to hit the right target market at the right time with the right message.
Awesome, amazing, amazing. Jenna, can you tell me how you learn about AI? I mean, like you share a lot of things. You're very confident to tell anything. So can you tell my audience how to learn the same?
Yeah, honestly, like if you told me, 5 years ago that I was going to be running an AI tech business, I would have looked at you like confused. I fell into it entirely on accident. I truly remember like Googling like what is ChatGPT, and just like playing with it myself and being, you know, I was a business owner at the time. I was running a digital marketing agency, and I wanted to see, well, what can it do? And so I started experimenting with it myself and was like, oh wow, there's so much potential here. And that was back in like Chat GP. That was even probably before 3.5. So I mean, the capacity of what it can do now versus 3 years ago is insane. But you know, I just started experimenting with myself and seeing the value in it. And then when I saw that, I started, you know, kind of cautiously approaching my existing clients and being like, here's what I'm doing, and here's why I think we can do this with your stuff. And here's what I'm seeing. And thankfully, you know, quite a few of my clients trusted me to implement it into their workflows. And it just dramatically increased our results, right? Like we had good results before, and now all of a sudden we have great, great results, above average. And so from there, you know, I did that for a couple of years, just kind of integrating it into what I was already doing. And then about 2 years ago, just really doubled down on, okay, we are a AI strategy and implementation and agency. You know, we do digital marketing, but it is AI forward digital marketing. We start with AI and then we put the human in the loop to tweak, to adjust. It's trained, and then we bring in the human element, and that enables me to do 6 times as much work for the same cost that I used to charge people, and that is huge. And get better results because, you know, we can do more with less. That's what I'm always going for, is how can we do more with less people, less budget, less time, all of the lesses, right? And so that's really what I've focused on. And truly, you know, for me, it's like there just haven't been a lot of people in the past couple of years kind of standing up and being like, all right, there's a lot of AI noise. I'm going to figure it out for everybody. And so that's kind of where I came into it, was like, all right, I love to play with this, and I love to like stay up until midnight and test AI platforms and build things. And so I'm going to do that and figure out the best ways to do it. And then I'm going to give it, you know, to other people to actually use without, you know, staying up until midnight playing with tools. So that's really how I got into it.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. A good journey. I think like it's important to adapt, because if you just do one thing and don't change, especially
Absolutely.
with AI, yeah, you will have a big trouble. Jenna, it's interesting about that, but can you tell about your communication things
Mhm.
with clients? I mean, like, so basically, you can share a list of recommendations, what you need to do, but many customers are busy with their business, busy with many other things, but then you need to change many things. I mean, like, any recommendations, any new implementation takes time, but of course in the future, in the long run, it will work great. But
Yeah.
in the short time, when customers are busy with their workflow, many of them just ignore a lot of recommendations. So can
Sure.
you tell how you transfer this data directly to the I don't know, decision makers' minds?
Yeah, you know, one thing I say all of the time is truly what AI implementation is change management. And I know it's scary to a lot of people to integrate it, because that's not the way we've done it before. And a lot of them don't even understand what it is that they're integrating. And that's scary also. And maybe they have employees that are resistant and are worried about losing their job because they're integrating AI. So there's a big hurdle there, in understanding what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so that's where I start is, you know, let's define what this is going to do, why we're doing it this way, and then let's look at how we implement it in safe, controlled ways. And that's why I say, like, we don't roll out, like, I don't roll in and like, we're going to AI everything in your business. That's too much. It's too far. So it's identifying those best possible use cases and implementing those in ways that don't disrupt the quality of the business. And ultimately, that's what I want people to be able to do what is most meaningful in their business, maybe what lights them up the most or what is most impactful to their customers. I want to leave that on the human side, and I want to free up more space for humans to do that. And then I want to take all the stuff that doesn't need as much of a human touch and automate that so that you're not, burning out or over hiring and things like that. So I think communicating that this is meant to be a change, this is meant to be different than it's ever been before, and that's a good thing, is probably a lot of what I spend my time doing, is really educating on the what and the why.
Yeah, it's interesting about you work in digital marketing, so me too. I mean, like, it's our main direction. But when I spoke with accounting experts, someone who started to play with anti-gravity, with AI tools to create some accounting workflow, and they told even today these tools are ready to replace 90% of all accounting experts in the US. It's really I don't know how much this industry can cost, like $1 trillion probably, I don't know, many billions, but they thought even today these tools can automate all this calculation, all this process. But according to data, I mean, like, in digital marketing, in SEO, probably everyone, I don't know, even one person who can ignore AI, but in accounting, plus 90% still ignore AI and calculate with calculators. I don't know. So, Jenna, can you tell about some specific niches like construction, accounting, many others? They do this job slowly. What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, to piggyback off of your example, like, I've personally done away with QuickBooks in my business because I've built my own custom tool that does my P&Ls. That I feed all that in, and it's QuickBooks, but personalized to me, right? And I did away with that subscription. QuickBooks is probably going to come at me now, but a lot of those tools you're going to be able to do away with because you can use AI to do them. And you're seeing that. We're seeing those platforms integrate AI into their tools, which is great. And for the average consumer, that's probably the way to go. But if you're AI savvy or you have someone AI savvy, you can rebuild these things for yourself or have somebody do it for you and, lose those monthly subscriptions. So I think accounting is a great example. Anything, that's at the end of the day, AI is math, right? This is numbers going on behind the scenes. So anything where it's having to do calculations, math, that kind of stuff, it's great at. I think probably the biggest failure point for AI is where it has to kind of interpret, particularly like a human's impressions or emotions or that's the hardest thing for it, and not impossible, but that's the hardest thing to do. So anything with concrete data, super easy, right? Timelines, filtering data, creating spreadsheets, it is great at that. So those industries, I think, are going to benefit the most from it, that have, that need data interpretation. We can feed it tons of spreadsheets and get it summarized really easily. Like, I haven't hand created a spreadsheet in I don't know how many years at this point, because AI can do that for you. And it can even, add your conditional logic and your formulas and things like that. Like, you don't need to be an Excel expert anymore. No one does. You just need to know how to ask AI to do it for you. So I think those are some of the best use cases for sure.
100%. Jenna, I have my final question, and this question is very important for my audience because I have many people who just start. Honestly, I don't know how they follow me, but they follow me because I usually pay attention to different niches, but organic reach is huge. So anyway, I want to help them. And my loving question that can help these people. What will you do today if you start everything from scratch? So basically, forget about digital marketing experience, about your AI experience, completely zero. You know nothing about AI, you know nothing about digital marketing, you know nothing about business, but you have a big dream. You want to become a great expert in one day. So what will you do if you do everything from scratch?
I would pick one platform, and honestly, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't. Pick one platform and become an absolute expert in it. ChatGPT, Claude, Lovable, take your pick. Pick one and learn everything about it, become an expert in it, and use that to every last ability that you have, because it's too much we've already talked, it's too much to keep up with all of the things coming out. So if I were to go back, I spent a lot of time experimenting. I would pick one thing and I would throw all of my effort into that, and learn it from scratch and teach other people how to use it, because I think that's the next big step, right? Is as we start seeing a lot more AI, becoming more mainstream and integrated into everything we do, it feels so natural to me and you because we're in it all day, every day. But then I find people that have never even heard of ChatGPT or have no idea how to use it, or what applications they might have for it. And so being able to know it, learn it, and then teach it, that's the next big step to being an expert in kind of this new world order.
Yeah, I agree. Even more, I think like let's imagine you choose ChatGPT.
Yeah,
For example, I know people who can choose. Let's imagine SEO. SEO consists of on-page SEO, off-page SEO. On-page SEO consists of content creation, technical optimization, link building for off-page SEO, PR. It's really tough to become an expert
it
in
is.
everything. Even if you choose ChatGPT, you need to choose specific direction where you wanna crush it.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Are you using it for content? Are you using it for custom GPT? What are you using it for? So yeah, I think finding a lane and committing to it and just going for it is the best way to proceed right now.
Awesome. Amazing, Jenna. It's a big pleasure to
Yeah.
get you on
Thank
the
you.
show, to learn
Yeah.
from you. I hope next time when I will invite you, you will join me again because you can tell me, okay, my AI avatar will represent me. I don't know. I don't know what kind of future will be. Probably I will reply, okay, my AI avatar will speak with you the same. So we'll see. But anyway, the main goal to bring value. I really don't care. It's AI or human being. I care about value. If I get value,
Value.
I can listen. I can watch. I love watching videos on YouTube, AI generated videos. I love to listen
Sure.
audio podcasts AI generated because if it brings quality, if I get value, so I don't
I
care about
agree.
it.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Jenna,
Yep.
tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm on YouTube a lot. I do a lot of like small trainings on YouTube. So certainly find me on YouTube. I'm at HerAIgency. So check me out there. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those. But YouTube is kind of probably, particularly if you're wanting to learn, if you're wanting to get more involved in the AI world, check out YouTube because I do a lot on there.
Awesome, awesome. I'm going to subscribe to your channel because
Thank you.
I need more value. I need value. I know if I don't learn, it's a big trouble for me. I mean, like, because many things are changing fast. So, guys, I recommend to anyone to follow Jenna Nelson and YouTube channel her HerAIgency on YouTube in order to adapt fast. Okay, guys, love
Yeah.
you. See you.